student uprising in Soweto, South Africa, where over 20,000 students marched in protest against apartheid-inspired education by demanding to be taught in their own language, were brutally murdered. The Day of the African Child does celebrate the children of Africa and calls for a serious introspection and commitment towards addressing the numerous challenges facing children across the continent. This year, the theme of celebration is 30 years after the adoption of the Charter. Accelerate the implementation of the Agenda 2040 for an Africa fit for children. This theme focuses on the 2016 African Committee adopted Agenda 2040, fostering Africa fit for children, a 25-year agenda for the long-term strategic progress implementing children's rights in Africa. This message is brought to you by the Global Media Campaign to End FGM in partnership with
we're saying a very big morning to you and hope you had a very good night yesterday. Mbokk yi ñu leen di nuyu di leen dalalaat fii si beneen edition Good Morning Africa programme amaat mbégte lool nag delluwaat fii si morning programme bi seen favorite Good Morning Africa programme bi boo xam ne dañ leen di andil issues yoo xam ne dafa interesting torop te dañ dee follow by newspaper review plus tamit analysis of issues ñoo xam ne daf dee xew si dëkk bi fii ak si bitim réew foo waay munti nekk rek si biir réew mi ak si bitim réew ñu leen naa dalalaat fii si edition Good Morning Africa programme bi seen programme bi saa su ne rek si Good Morning Africa programme bi dañ leen dee defal fii lu interesting lu am solo tey nag dañ leen fi amal guest comme nuñ ko dee defee rek Good Morning Africa programme bi dañ ko dee spice up every day is ida ñu andil leen guest wala suñ team bi ñu dem outside ñu andil leen critical issues yoo xam ne ñu ngi happen in the country and of course tey ñu leen na andil a guest boo xam ne dañoo discuss very interesting matters in the country but duma leen ko revealal it's going to be a surprise for now dinaa leen ko wax si kanam tuuti kan moo nekk suñ guest bi tey su Good Morning Africa programme bi ak lan la ñoo waxtaanee waaye balaa loolu tey suñ studio stories yi am nañ fi police story bi boo xam ne dañ seize huge amount of cannabis si Banyanka village bi dinañ leen andi loolu nu xam nga fu mu nekk nii moom crime police yi gars seen operation zero crime bi gars ñu ngi patrol all over the country almost gars yi pour capture rek ñoo xam ne ñu ngi involved in some things yoo xam ne daal jaarut yoon plus tamit trade fair bi xam nañ ne startoon nañ depuis last month waaye fu mu nekk nii gars yi jeexal nañ waaye comme ñii ñu bari dañoo wax ne trade fair this year du interesting wala ñi duñ dem jënda because coronavirus bi fu mu nekk nii koom-koom amatut coronavirus bi ñu bari fu mu nekk nii ñàkk nañ seen liggéey amatuñ xaalis so moo tax nag this year trade fair bi dina nekk a different one but surprisingly it's a different ball game altogether. So dinañ leen andil loolu ak many more interesting stories in the studio this morning. Thank you so very much for coming along with us in this Good Morning Africa program. This morning we have the police the seizure of cannabis in Banyanka village. We will bring you that on the Good Morning Africa program, and of course the 14th edition of the GAP International Trade Fair just wrapped up, and one would have expected that the trade fair this year will not make much progress because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but surprisingly the things have really changed. Let's just start with matters of the police this morning. We're going to, because the Gambia Police Force has announced the seizure of 4 bags and 29 bundles of cannabis at Banyanka village on Monday during their usual patrol under the Operation Zero Crime campaign. According to officials, the officers on patrol uncovered a bunker in which huge quantities of suspected cannabis was seized and the suspect arrested. Fatoumata Kasim tells us more.
Cannabis in the Gambia is illegal. It is known locally as yamba or Thai and is the most used illegal drugs in the country. Cannabis grows naturally in the Gambia and other parts of Africa and has been used as recreational drug for centuries. However, its abuse is now widespread in both rural and urban communities in the Gambia. The police PRO Superintendent Lamin Jai said during the course of their operation, they were able to establish that there is a huge link between crime and drug abuse.
So it was one of the routine patrols that they were doing yesterday when they got tip-off information that some illicit activities are going on around the village of Banyaka, somewhere around Brufut, West Coast region area. And so as a result of that, they have decided to go and investigate into this situation. And during the course of that investigation, in fact, they realized that it was some cannabis dealing that was going on around this area. And so eventually they were able to follow leads until they uncover that metal bunker you have seen out there with quantities of cannabis that you have 4 bags of cannabis with 29 bundles within those 4 bags that were hidden in that bunker in one of the compounds in Banyaka.
The police PRO said 2 individuals were arrested in connection with possession of alleged cannabis and are currently helping the police in their investigation.
Arrests were made. Some 2 individuals were arrested in connection to this situation, and they are currently helping with investigations. What we will do afterwards is to transfer this case to the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, because they are the institution that is responsible to further probe into this situation and be able to take appropriate actions against these individuals and their activities.
According to him, police officers have been barred from entering certain premises even though they have genuine information to investigate. He therefore urges the public to allow the police to do their duties, emphasizing that it is against the laws of the Gambia to obstruct police officers when they are on their lawful duties.
As at now, we have message that we want to pass to the general public, and especially to do with one, information sharing. We want the general public to share information with the police, because we cannot be able to uncover some of these situations without people sharing information with the police. In fact, we want to commend the public because this information was shared by a member of the public, and that was why the police were able to investigate and uncover this situation. Secondly, we want people also to not obstruct our officers when they go about with their search activities, especially when they have informations like this. Oftentimes, we usually will encounter people coming out to obstruct officers, barring them from entering certain premises, even though they have genuine information to investigate. And so we want to let people understand that it is against the laws of the Gambia to obstruct police officers when they are on their lawful duties.
There are strict laws in the Gambia with the minimum sentence for those found in possession of drugs over 250 grams, with a very large fine of up to 15 years in jail. Recent cases have included foreigners carrying a minimal amount of cannabis sentenced to 10 years in prison. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
Wow, Gambia Police Force be guiding, suspect 4 bags of cannabis yoo xam ne gaa dañ ko si Banyaka village mu nekk loo xam ne daal dafa doy waar torop parce que xam nañ ne cannabis fu mu nekk nii si dëkk bi fii gaal dafa illegal koo xam ne dañ ko jàppa daal luwaa dina tegu sa kaw waaye fu mu nekk nii daal ñu ngi gis ne of recent police yi fu mu nekk nii through their Operation Zero Crime campaign gaa ñu ngi arrest so many people in connection to cannabis and related matters mu nekk loo xam ne dafa doy waar torop te most of these suspects dañ dee nekk ay ndaw yoo xam ne gaay dañoo njëriñ si dëkk bi gaay dañ they're very important in society. So mu nekk loo xam ne dafa doy waar torop dëgg la there are other countries around the world yoo xam ne dañ legalize mu nekk cannabis and all that, but the Gambia here it is still illegal. koo xam ne daal mboolem koo xam ne téye nañ la daal luwaa dina tegu sa kaw so loolu mun leer nañ ñi xamee ko noonu yeneen dëkkay gaay dañ ko legalize pour ñi use ko pour medicine purposes, but in the Gambia it is still illegal. So kuñ mboolem ko xam ne jàppa nañ la rek luwaa dina tegu sa kaw ñi bàyyi seen xel si loolu bu baax a baax te police yi fuñ nekk ni toogatuñ gaay seen Operation Zero Crime campaign bi gaay ñu ngi neemee ko dëkk bi pour rek téye ñoo xam ne daal ñu ngi yàqa luwaa bi ñoo xam ne daal ñu ngi involved in criminal activities so loolu mu nekk loo xam ne daal am na solo torop. With that we move on to our next story and talk about matters of politics. Because the deputy party leader of the United Democratic Party, Ajayam Seka, has urged President Adama Barrow to buy more buses for students than buying vehicles for his supporters to promote his political agenda. There has been continuous public outrage over the scarcity of public transportation in the Gambia. Aisa Jallo has the rest of the story.
The day-to-day transportation in the Gambia is noticeably insufficient lately. This crisis is mostly affected by students who find it very difficult to commute to school due to the chaotic traffic. Students, as major victims, do not only come to school late at times, but may also face terrible situations like theft on their way to school. Ajia Maseka, speaking in her capacity as a retired teacher, urged the president to come to the aid of the students by buying more school buses for easy transportation.
Adama Barrow, I am telling you that the cars you are using for politics are too much, since you said you own them, and giving it to your party militants. I am also pleading with you because as a retired professional teacher, and I have taught till I have retired, but I'm asking you to look for school buses for the school-going children. Adama Barrow, the cars you bring into the country are too much, including school buses for the students before. Before, we the elders never wanted our kids to work at the hours of Maghrib. But going out at the hours of Maghrib, especially at the streets of Gambia High, to Gympex, you will see students loitering around, which is not safe for our kids. Reduce the cars and give the students enough school buses.
Babukar Toure, a student from Kanifing East Senior Secondary School, stressed the issue of traffic and how it affects his educational career.
Get very difficult for me to have car, even when I have car early. But before I reach at the school, I waste a lot of time in the road. Not that I'm idle, but when the traffic is blocked. So sometimes also before you have car to go to school, it gets very difficulty before I have car. You see all these students roaming here without having any car. So when they can supply our school bus, we have school bus, so that when we go home anytime, we just take our school bus and go. It will favor us. Because when you are late, when you are supposed to have paper at around 8 o'clock, so due to the block of the traffic, you get late and the traffic is blocked, you don't have car early. You can get late or you absent in that paper.
Another student from the Gambia Senior Secondary School also dilated on the struggles students go through just to get to school on time.
It is obvious that going to Banjul is not easy, and I commute from Fajikunda to go to school. Sometimes you will wait for the bus while it's already full and the driver will not want to take you along. I end up paying a fare to Banjul if I don't get any lift. If you are not lucky to have a lift, then you'll pay fare. I'm in the morning shift, therefore I don't come home at night. But when going in the morning, I am mostly late. Due to this, I get punished when I am late because it's part of the rules and regulations, as you know. It is not advisable. My last words are, if you can help the students, that will be good, because we are the future leaders. They should help us with the means of transportation. Anyhow, just so we can go to school on time.
Generally, students are sometimes not prioritized in traffic by drivers, and they often encounter issues like bullying or receiving vulgar words from the public. Reporting for iAfrica News, Aisha Jallo.
Aisha Jallo there on the transportation issues. We all know that it is very, very difficult to have vehicle within the Greater Banjul area. If you're going to work, if you're going to school, you have to scramble for vehicles here and there. You will wake up at as early as 6 or 5 a.m. only to find yourself late at school, or late, to go to school, or late, to go to work. So all these things are problems that are really issues that will hinder the development of this country, because if you're supposed to do a work around let's say 8 o'clock, you're supposed to complete an assignment between 8 to 9 a.m. You reach home, you reach at work or at school, for instance, let's say at 9 a.m. All these things are things that will hinder the progress of the country in that regard. So I think officials in the transport sector will actually really do something about it, because the issue of transportation in the Gambia is becoming a nightmare. You go to work, the traffic congestion, students scrambling, and if they go to school, you're very tired because of the traffic and all that. If you reach school, it's very difficult for you even to concentrate at school. So all these things are issues that people should really put into consideration, especially the present government. We know that there are buses, for students, but they are not enough. The buses are not enough for students. I think we have less than 3 buses, that will serve how many thousands and thousands of students that are going to school. So I think the government should really put that into consideration. The students are very, very important in the country. They should have buses, they should have vehicles that will take them to school without much stress. Torop xam nañ ne ñu yëpp dañ dee dem liggéey, ñeneen ñu ngee dem marché, ñeneen ñu ngee dem école, waaye su ñoo dem ñu yëpp xam nañ ne trafic bi lu mel is ida nga taxaw si mbedda bi for like hours balaa nga am moto, wala soo amee moto sa trafic bi mu nekk problème balaa nga egga foo war a dem. Loolu tamit kaay leen loolu tam mu nekk beneen problème. So foog naa ne daal nguur gi dañ war a seetaat loolu bu baax a baax, gars yi andiwaat measures and strategies pour ñu mun a solve problem boo xam ne moo nekk di xew si traffic bi. With that, we move on to our next story and talk about matters of the trade fair, because the 14th edition of the Gambia International Trade Fair drew the curtains on Sunday, with participants feeling relieved of the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite the hard knocks, sales in this year's fair is highly rated as good, and services took up the space of the National Independence Stadium since May 22nd. Khadija Tuseka tells us more.
The annual International Trade Fair, organized by the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, creates a valuable platform for businesses and people to sell and explore qualities best found in the African market. Leading businesses from the sub-region are joined by those with international background on the language of partnership, paving way for opportunities for the small and medium enterprises, mainly by the young. The fair constructs businesses linkages between Gambia and other parts of the world that goes down to explore new products and trend to usher in cost-effective marketing and management. One thing some of the participants are taking home from Banjul is the nature of sales in comparative with the previous editions.
Sant nañ ci Yàlla bi bari suma colleagues ñu ngi complain naan it's not as usual, waaye ñun moom sant Yàlla bi mu bari.
For this year's trade fair, I have nothing to say except to thank Allah. Although some of my colleagues complain that this year is not like other years, but on my part, the profit I made is more than that of the previous years.
Asan Katra further explained the challenge in getting the Gambian-made products compete in the market.
Jafe-jafe bi nag mooy Gambians yi duñ dee nangoo patronize Gambian-made products. To be very honest.
The difficulty is that Gambians do not patronize their own products. So to be very honest, if the youth of the Gambia are trying, one should help them. If one comes to our shop and realize that our products are made in the Gambia, they will just turn their backs and give us an excuse that they are coming back. So you see that the confidence is lacking.
One of the participants who had attended the previous 3 editions of the exhibition gave a better rating of the 2021 trade convergence in the Gambia.
This is my 4th year, and I have seen an improvement. Every year I sell my products to many people, and this year is not an exception. I have never even met many of my customers before. This year is a sign of massive improvement. That is why every year from now on, I will come back.
Misuna, who is in the fashion business, expressed her satisfactions with the progress of this year's fair.
This is my first year selling at the trade fair, and I have achieved my objective. I've made a lot of sales. Hopefully, next year I'll earn more than this.
The international trade fair could not hold last year due to the outbreak of the coronavirus. which devastated businesses and the service sectors across the world. The resumption of this exhibition signals a revival of crippled economics and hopes in getting back to the normal business operations. Karijato Seka, iAfrica News.
That's very interesting there. This year's trade fair is rated higher than the previous years, which a lot of people will be surprised to know, because all the COVID-19 pandemic, everything that is involved, people are not going to work, people are stranded, people are not having the life that they used to have. But with all the difficulties that is involved, this year's trade fair is rated highest than the previous trade fairs, which I think it's a very good move. Congratulations to GCCI and partners and all the entrepreneurs in the country. They're doing tremendously well, and we just have to congratulate them on that, and then we urging them to keep up the momentum. The sky is the limit. The private sector, they are really doing very well, and we all know the private sector, they are the engines of development of any country. So they play a very pivotal role in the development of any country. So that is a very good one there. This year's trade fair was relatively very good. So with that, we take a short break. We will come back with our guest. Like I said, I promised you that we are having a guest this morning, and she is the spokesperson of the Gambia Moral Congress. So we're taking a short break and come back for the interview with our guest. So stay tuned.
My name is Honorable Ibrahim Okoli, a member of the Children's National Assembly of the Gambia. As we commemorate the International Day of the African Child today, I would like to remind you that, as enshrined in the Women's Amendment Act 2015, the government of the Gambia criminalized female genital mutilation and sets out strict punishment for anyone who engages in the practice. Despite its prohibition, coupled with the social and health consequences, our communities continue to widely practice FGM. As according to the Demographic Health Survey conducted in 2019, the national prevalence rate of FGM is 73%, which is very high and worrisome. In light of this, I call upon the government as the primary duty bearer to move from rhetoric to action and bring perpetrators of the practice of FGM to book. This message is brought to you by the Global Media Campaign to End FGM in partnership with Safe Hands for Girls and Child Protection Alliance.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the Good Morning Africa program on iAfrica TV, and I am Julde Njai Suare. Before we go on that short commercial break, I was telling you that we have a guest this morning, and she is the spokesperson of the Gambia Moral Congress, Madam Tida Kijera Dabo. Good morning, ma'am, and welcome to the Good Morning Africa program.
Thank you so much, and I greet you.
Thank you. Atelem Tida Kijera, Atelem spokesperson of Gambia Moral Congress, and will be Mendia Mukawalen GMCT. Madam, we know that GMC Tombola, Molbe rally, Molbe campaign la, Molbe rally la, Molbe cool organized ahead of the December elections. Say, at all party GMC, what are you up to? You've been quiet for so long. What are you up to? What are your plans? Ali mune soto moli?
Abaraka bake mbe la moirlal bi kontona. Ko ya fa nyame na nyimo election reality. And mol bebe prepare kan dal katun ka December le bayndi. Damu yalon ko nyanta ka karto fay. So GMC as a political party, dol fanal be preparation olale do nga program do le schedule no nyanta ka mulke no after janning ni pandemic la problem obe la fala no banko kan foye program all stop no gathering all stop ayatra no nga program do schedule we supposed to go for convention damu yalon ko bena flag biara itandi la Gambia ko lale anim fanam be femfendin kala dal ko mbe wol nyanta ka wolle kacanu woto baro programme man na keno but inshallah ate mela drong mbaytandi la Gambian ko la jumala mun to la candidate oti for 2021
wo fenketa bag wo interesting ta bag bari saying molbe rally la ya fo molle ko komin ko sambe atol fanam be fintila pour ka faale jumal mal standard biarati an wo me yalan ko ay fenko soto but coming mol ka fo nyame dorong Gambian politics normally melbi je me yadati wala kataraji fo GMC fadang dole nyama bang hani saying coming my fatile be tarla je fo munekata.
No, yalo wo be dependa mola interest le bulu in politics because amanke ko mo mondi mu politician oti wo lafta kake leaderleti. So akruta patiyo nyin kono mo jallabe interest ring pour kake president oti because president ya mu feneti ntol ngamen believe wala mu ko ala doku o manke doku cha hanti because itele mu mol be la nyaton koti. So itele nyanta kala molete mu yalon ko ikana doku o menke nyanta ka lonne i nyanta competent la for the position because ni ita man bete ya dron man sakunda nyinte bete ya nola because itole be nyato itele ka commands di itele mu chief of defense so fending under you ila direction o nyanta tarajele bulo bije hakilo kataje so nimmo mu fango ye fankoros ko you know ko itete nyim palaso samba nola imanya na ki fango batande ka banko dingol fanal batande just doron ka foko GMC my Ahmed Fati meta jele abe palaso nyininka so obviously my Ahmed Fati munyanta bola jele so tida na when actually tida mantara preparing to be a president so ni anything ye motivate ala o palaso la kumaya ya kenna fana ngatra en tata je mbem fangole malundi la drong anin ka banko moltora so ntol nga même believe soto wolo muko momu yalon ko ite lafita ani sa keno adum be karike Tesla because ka political party fango rule is a test match for political leaders kajibe ibe tamandi role ke ka nyaadile fo ite competent je mam competent mol nyanda ka wolon so ni another candidate nata kotake on the way amari fana nga the same confidence soto afangoto adum alondo babulu alafta ka try why not
atol la criteria mo muneti pour ka coming ka leader nyin sale ka fo hanying ay competentale coming ay londo sotole ay sotole coming ay fengol be sotol mem yalon ka nyanta kala mansalti barato la criteria mo muneti at the GMC level.
Yeah, come like me explain kanye. Follow yalon political party ni ba form ka mol le kasi ka miro sotoko. This is the way we want to rule the country. So ya explain it modo ya explain modo then mol yena agree alieta ali political party ta ali register. So abe kuma yala bakele ni te lafta ka ke leaderti GMC follow ite fongo mu yalon ko lafta ke la leaderti you have to show us the leadership intention in you because ite tarno la sirin koma ilafta ke la leaderti imalafika leadership challenges star. Whatever you have to involve yourself into politics. Not only sitting at home, mbe GMC yela membership card soto, I just be a treasurer or I'm just a mobilizer, but you will not function very well. Wobaitan lantolako, you are not really ready to lead us. Ibe fintilale come and take the challenges from the party. Batawo batabije because it's a model je banko kan ni ibe politiko kono imalafi kana nyato. Ni afo e kava ante malafi mol kan nene. Hambadi ngol loko nkana nyinke. So obviously those type of excuses will tell us you are not ready to lead. So if you are not ready to lead a political party, that means you are not also ready to lead the country.
Very well. Saying at all, political parties, they have been coming up, Kafomole Konyine Mutola agenda, others are telling us that they will prioritize agriculture, others are telling us that the economy is down, they will make sure that the economy is revived through agriculture, through tourism sector. But the GMC, what are your agendas when it comes to the December presidential election? At all focus mumuneti?
To the focus first mumuneti, health sector. That is our number one priority. Because what happened, Gambia, people are getting sick and they can't be cured. So if you don't have a healthy population, nothing will move. because ye mo mondinje niaje te binal do ko le jato be kende yare niaje president be do ko kala jato be kende yare niaje fama be do ko kala pour ka balu a jato be kende yare because it's a filo keno 100 by 100 ila intention mu sama boytale lafta kanyin seneka tiyo kije ni man jata kende ya soto abukatano so gambian kol mo jamal le be sasare mul yallon ko ibuka jaralo soto no wo benna priority kono kaje ko surtout musukunda because ni nata jibe bankola development musol ye sembo soto pour ka do ko ke bari man jata kende yal soto no woketa gambia la problem bat katu funding kewol musol wolle kake wululal fanalti so obviously ila ni wulwol kono faketa sanya keta silango de fam moma la fika dingo wulu fente ka silango mun soto ko ibuka jata kende soto at the end of the day dol katale ke ka faje ini dingol be so GMC Masakunda lafta banko mu yalon ko abe kala healthy bankoti so that mol se do kol keno e nyanta ka menke na next priority wolo keta funding ke wala site banko niyo mu funding ke wollete ngajele ko fanan ko nyim banku kan every year mo hirka jamalle ka karango bank kabiri university to grade 12 kata nyeng tertiary institutions mol ka pare bari ibuka doku soto so wolbe larinje anoda iya fanan wol fanal na la fa aka munta ko na banko doku balol wole be siyakan doku lalti doku bundal man soto so nyimbe GMC buluko with GMC Masakunda dindi ngolle ba fala ko malla fi doku kela bari ate kela ko iba fala ko man doku soto adon jikita ko nimmu ya doku soto adi nyanta ke fam balundi ite balana ka doko ke because yalla ne ko doko le bete balundi la wule bete ba ko la yela pedensol tekke anita fongo be family men tekke yalla sama ka musol soto ka dingol wulu so inyanta kala molte mu yalla ko be responsibility tal so ni opportunity je jannite mari bitala ni bakwe silotala kata si tubabu du dol bije kam ciol fongol karane at the end of the day buka doku soto nyim bankunka ini law meti kendol katale ka funti bankoka so ka wollos with GMC government we cannot just take that risk of losing all our youths this backway journey either dole cross or ye fa ba kono nana da fana e musol la karola kabring mbe kato kala fokaje ko ila jata kende ale sabati mba make sure la fana ko ibe dokol mel kekan ye benefit soto wo dokuwol to akana ke dokuwol ti mul ya lonko ibe dokula dron ka domo yemen sene ya domo hani ite fanan ka doko ko menna aman nyanna ka dang ila dabal wola bari fanan anyanta ke mako ile ila life ko dol fanal to ida yelara nyi mal sanno ye bunyi mal lono because aman tara hani dulato ko ke wala nyanta ka bungolo aman tara dulato feng kon su sonte kuranite ko muso manyana ka korda soto bari abe soto la nyaadile ibe terra do ku fenne la mu yalon ko ate danna dron ko ite konoto adin ka bayo sange fango ya ni la dindingol bara nyanta tambila woto la mune ba tambila woto strategy ben tol bulu kayitandi ko momo nimbe sector wo sector la nyi musol to ibe fenne do kula fengo mu yalon ko ate danna dron ko ila dado morola ni nga sampulo ke kom bi ni tata marché kono isa sori nyawonya nyim bankunka ibuka sori musolti mulkata marché woto so itolla business o muneti wolo muko kata domorol fengol ta ke sang fama sol bulu itol fanal yanati marché woto ya wafi bari kam mojele kabira sungutu ndingo abe woke kam fay ke baya ate feytandi no le tangible ka foye ko na do ko no ngani na soto with GMC government mbe silol le wara neye mbe dinkiral la nyini neye mu ya lonko itol fanal ite tarraje dronko because iman choice le soto ibe woke ka barabe kelela choice le because ibe baluka woleto so harmadi ngo be do ko men keke ba baluka nje inyanta ka do ko ni improve ndi amario ele pour ate fanansi better life soto so that more better kele tarno la ka kele Masakunda palasol ni political palasol la just drong ibe baluo kele nyame
wo kumaya tabake ye health sector mention your agriculture mention your youth empowerment also mention but coming even this current government right now coming for kabri be campaign you kai they will prioritize all these areas but come yete ya for nyame the high mortality rate is on the increase and all that in the health sector. Many people are claiming that if you go to the health sectors, you will not have drugs. So what is the GMC government going to do differently to tackle all these challenges in the country?
Definitely nga fo nyame naka kumofo aninkake is quite different. Nibe banko nyininka maybe isekeno diam la kendot but ko ka ko nyi practicalize wole kanake problem mot adu inyanta ka wo molle soto mu ya lonko they can talk at the same time ibe même fo ke hakilo kono they can also do it atekela ko ibe kayto le safela ni bitala diam dula you read from that paper niyo kayto nyi read akamunta ko mol idea ni yemun nati yewole read aytandi mol but for stop be defa ngo bulle to implement that yalla banko dingol nyanta ka wolonne so wole aken nako there is a need pour mansakunda ka faling mansakunda la falingo atuta mansakunda fa wala do ku nyale to niya mansakunda binakan as a opposition aka mirol le soto aka même fo banko dingol yeko this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. So nin chance di tata marila anata je alteli nyanta ka jibele fo nyi yemum fo nunko anyanta ka wole ke abake kan ne bang famantara kake natara ko amake wolum ko alnyanta ka wo falinne aliyo bondiji aliyo donati mu yalon ko wo fanan ko le ko aba kelale. So with GMC government ntol mbajele ko mi ngafe ko health sector mu na priority ti nyame banko dingol miye diming ika kumbo wole la because wole atna media siyata sani nim molbe fakan wulu dinkiral to mbe keskisro kelale mune ka mol fa nyim wulu dinkiral to is it ko borole buka soto is it ko ibuka proper care soto is it ko traveling nying me ka boyla kordal to kata l'hôpital to wule ke this stuff we need to know actually mune problem before the problem solve la but it is sinola under your leadership mkolbe kekan bari ibe mune fona la wala ko benna kato keka kato nyanta ka jele bara amanke foro da mati
wo kuma tabat saying ite ya be fole coming alla agenda movement alla priorities movement but there is nowhere where you mention women inclusion coming are you financially alla agenda or women issue is not part of the GMC government like you are not considering that?
No, of course that's why I talk about women in the market because nidiamata women it's not only women in political field or women in the offices because over the years ngajele ko wole ketanu masakunda dol nyilla tageti kaje ko ka palasi baldi musolla ka musolla palasol la fa ka doku bunda dol yele musolye but still now be nyina kan the greater part of musolu wolle mu mol be marseoto you can't compare if in latrikunda market here ni tata ye kontiro ke musu jellebe sembo fenke ka wo marseoto yena compare with let's say education or any other ministry or forestry or whatever health sector so musol mel bije wol mo musol leti mul yalon ko itol karantale ye kaytol soto so man sakunda tarta ke isembentu yande I agree with it is there right pour itol sembentu ya ininke wol fanal ye kanyang pala solto anin dogoldo but we should not forget these women in the market wolen to la kumbo dalte because ninyil man kanantol te kananol
sa atol be munekela wole
nka wole foye ko itol fanal la do ko comme ni masakunda dol ye fero dol ke ka musuol mul 40 ke la palasol cikandi nyame fo sañi ibe place balto ngajele hani security musole place bal mutaje ministerial positions musole place bal mutaje itol fanal ñine muy tol la office te marasele tol office te musu dol bije gadino le mi tol office te so ntol ba katale tol fanal office ye improvement soto mol mel yallon ko ka wafiro ke tabulol kan yebo tabulol to e bitikol soto mel ka fanol fede ka kucal keje e fanal yebu fan feno to ye tabulol soto so mel yallon ko fanal be gadinol to ka julol saba ka gadinol wota ye julol bula e se paypolta ke la gadinol rose so fen di tol fanal nyanta ka bo stage do to le ka sele stage do because itol fanal Gambia dingol lati adu mollo mu yalon ko ya nyanto sotole adi tol fongol fanal ke la tax jole kontol ka tax jo nyaan ni tabe do ko la e ka tax bondi la salary kon e tol fanal ka juuti jole marché wot so juuti ni tala tax wala ka ben keso kon so obviously ni yete promote itabe do ko menna ya la ko wulindi for ila status lafata itol fana la status nyanta ka botole at least ka lafa pour nitol basitara the same level because it doesn't matter ko karimu ministeriality karimu directorality wala nyanta ka good life sort so modo fana be marse auto ate fana ka wafiro ka kodolo soto je kodo be kodo so
ako mayata baka ngamira wafir lal be la moy kanne ya moy le même fo GMC government comme December ni yatara to lebe mansa kunato ngaji be tol fana be what they are going to do differently because you know politicians they are very good when it comes to talking but the implementation is always a problem but yeah Madam Kiriera, the GMC party has been very quiet, I mean not compared to other political parties. What happened? Is it that you are not optimistic that you are going to win the top race come December?
No. Yelong Gambia la politiko be nyamena. We can't all be in the same line because strategies are different. Ule aken nako nga political different political parties sort. Nyim party do sa miracle organizing meetings. Wole muitola agenda in their political role. So other political parties also have their strategies in dealing with politics. Because amanke coming ko mol melka finti fana are the only targeted people in politics. We have people who cannot go out on rallies. Wol fana be suwolo kono Gambia dingol lom adu they have voters card. They need to vote. So they do not have that time to go for rallies or meetings. But if anal katara la moy rolale ibe jumale la moy kan adi be jumale jibe kan political party and political party leaders all. So obviously kavo coming ko nima meeting or organize. That means ko mantara political honey. This is all part of politics. We are meeting people not like ka rally ke, but even if you meet 10 people, you talk to them, you are doing a politic. Going into communities, community gatherings, ini mole si ali kacha yalla agenda fale. Wol fanal ka information of utandi dol la mol fanal ka information of utandi dol because wolte multi muli yalonko they will leave their work.
So GMC atol be wole kika.
Yeah, man si because banku nyina ibuka si. Nima rally ke direct alonko mbe campaign ke kanne kana underground kana information ota kaitandi mola munebe mutarintol bulo kono pour ka banko nyi samba.
Ngalo ne ko in political parties role siata Gambia to bakele more than 17 of them in the country. So the GMC do you stand a chance and coming are you thinking of forming any coalition with any political party?
No, coalition te as at now te wo fonola because anything GMC bakela abuka ke party leader la decision oti or executive decision ti on the si janga ko yes be nyin kala mo wo sembo sotono but muneka ke GMC be anything kala nka GMC dingol le nyininka hana tarafang abi kala ko every region be mo le tombon na je yenang si GMC be fem kala dal wututa GMC dingol le bul so ni wato sita itolle baytandila nyaton kolla fo mbe coalition la kala fo manta coalition so as of now mantara any coalition diamla with any party bari benna flag bi yare nyine president ka
no kumayata bake tida kijera wala bejang Good Morning Africa program be men diamu kan wala politikoti GMC tolbe muneke kan and you know other issues we are going to talk about the matters of the voter registration but before that the line will be open for you to comment on the program and the number is 2323-213-2323213 Purifana ye join diamo but madam the voter registration is ongoing and you know the last release from the IEC coming it shows that women you know are the highest number of people who registered. What do you have to say to that considering the fact that you are a woman?
Yeah, I feel very happy about it because really people are getting to know more about politics because if you compare it in those days people feel it is not necessary for you to vote because thinking menkatara mol bulu that is like ikata mole barakande ikameng vote in wole kata ka baraka when actually it's not about that because it as a citizen whether you vote or you don't vote when it is time for vote hanatara mo kemele karto fay wol mo kemo me winta o mari lebe tambela. So you will have your own problems, but you will sit and complain, but mune betela complain on bondila. Wulomuko, you need to go and get your voter's card. Wula nanko ko campaign yo manke meeting oda man. So niaje musolbe findike betaka iba kala mutaka ne sanying mune ya kenna mo nyanda ka carte o soto ani mune ya kenna mo nyanda ka carte o fay. so ibe wala kala mutaka wala kana sai ibe fintika kataka karto nyene so on contenta wala bake because Gambia ni problem o nata ja nka wala fo musole always is a futu nole you have a husband albe siri things are not good he decided to go outside of the country to go and struggle itebe banko kanja you have a baby with him the baby also will grow have 21 years he will also go out and struggle but you as a woman you are still in this country so wala waya kenna ko be banko men kan tolu jamal bi jembu ka hanita hanidulato be jandron ajanda kala na consent who is going to lead us because we need a better home too not ko melbe kodo kila nyeka kodo kinya dron ndol fana nimbe kodo kinya we want to have a good life and a good life to soto no la banko kanata ko manyaton ka kendo soto mi yalon ko abe banko la nafulo nyin abe prioritize la men nyanta dunna dame ay dunje men nyanta fintila dama ay fintije ibaje la ko banko nyin sitano nyato so I'm very happy and very proud of that kaje ko musolbe fintika so that means they are getting the information.
Do you people have any agents around in the registration centers?
Of course we have some agents so molla do kunyal konka fa nyamenna if you have an agent in Kunkuja here itata munna je we already tell you observation wule muko kaje ko mol miliyalon ko imang sanji tannin say soto hani Gambia dingol lomo iti tol mom futa follow pour ka carte o fay so imanyana kada carte kayto soto because loi yo wolef mol miliyalon ko manke Gambia dingol in the sense ko dol se wulu jang bari la wulu lale wolu ma wulu jang son tolla loi même fo mol mel la wulu lal ma wulu jang wulu la fulol ma wulu jang itol nata nyini ndirol la jaye dingo wulu that means ko dindingo nyinta keno la Gambia dingo te fo sartal le biji anyanta men tamandi la pra Gambia di yasot so nite biji as a political observer yemo suute mu yalon ko atemu amanke Gambia dingot o asiyoma fonkosi iba akatala ye information o ta ya send to the bureau hana tara mari mate stop no pour akana carte o soto bari yo information o men send to the bureau ni revising court nata amari manta carte fail because be carte o nyim busi la bulle.
So atolla agent Sol, did they report to you about anything of that sort like minors registering or foreigners mamayalon ko be register kan atolla agent Sol, did they give you anything of that nature?
Of course yeah your information ol di mu yalon ko actually dol bije they attempted but niaje ko diamo be siare ibu kana fit soto ko ikata itoler poto men din tolla as at now ani dindingol fanale mul yalon ko ni attestation o kana ika fayde ko attestation o nyinte ita use no because ita wuluta jan ijanta ka birth certificate sotole go and bring your birth certificate pour yalon ko ite ni siyo sotole barata keno la ko yeta attestation kama ite wuluta jan ila age for at least 18 years ma any difficulty soto ji bankun kan 18 years dindingo ba fala mun nako I didn't have my birth certificate so obviously anyanta ka birth certificate sotole so until we believe ko birth certificate ni dindingol nyanta kana wole nat iko mol mel yalon ko mo document sol be soto no isita attestation o nyine but dindingo mi yalon ko birth certificate soto ita nyanta mol nyanta ka lala sako natara ko hakili jibi jabo nata je ko isiyo ya sila mansi we need to get your birth certificate.
So which area specifically did that occur? Because there are other political parties that are coming on board telling us that this area so and so they are issuing voters cards to minors or they are issuing voters cards to foreigners. So which specifically area agent they reported to you?
Nga agent force mun soto mun reporter wo is Wuli is.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kabrayan call akonye ko ntol de nata janga modol taraja mu yalon ko nsobitale ko nyili I manke Gambia note akonye ko because nyili ntinga kala mutale fan kabiri ila alfal kanaja akonye fol nyanda kayto so lankay ma nyanda kayto sotol akonye yawo so lafta ka so en tol nyanda ka muneke because ntinga nyili lon nkoye ko altaje aliya fay ko nyili manjana ka kayto sotol ni insista e kayto dila aliya informational tale sen but kabiri tata because modol bije yalon ko ni man tara ku kendo keka ni e mamandi drom eka fenkele eka muru komal so kabri tata ye info starta kay nyininka mune atna to be kayto sotla because nge ba malon nge fa malon ako den wol nata kam fa yela saykulol te tata ako itata step because rider babulla atata another registration center atata je fana ayata dindi wol be sirinje kabra futata ay nyine bambandi wol mako dindi wo dindi man sanje tanni say soto imagine ka carte ota ni carte o dila mbela carte o la information ota la mba sen la no office mbi sambala court so dinde wal nyil yalla no koy ifanal be munke ka manke right so silata court ko wala they all disappear so ka attempts kele bot ni te mari nata interfere ntol nga information ol soto dame dol bije e ka withdraw fona tara ko a mari e mol soto mu yalon ko aba bakkan wo wole ka jama diamu nati aldam mal tema.
But was that the right thing to do, considering the fact that, you know, even the police issue a statement saying that no agent has the right to obstruct any person from, you know, registering. Yet, you have any queries, you should take the, you know, details of that person, and after the registration process, they will bring in all the details, information, mail register. So that is the time where political party agents have the right to look at a particular name, the information, and you find coming, this is not a Gambian, or this person is a minor. Then from there you can raise your issue. Was that the right thing to do, considering?
No, you know, in this situation, because before you go and write someone's name, you should also find out. Because ikakilole fenketala kuola, either amanke banku dingoti or asio masi. By talking to them now from a withdrawer, there is no bit of, because that is what we want. At the end of the day, if they can withdraw, that is what we really want. Because Katanian court revising would even waste more time because nyaja molbe futala court isalon ko kuole mambanno tabulo kan but banku dingol actually ka kuol bang at the right way tabulo nyin kan ko itemembe fort la you accept ko you should not be here, go home so you leave us space. But ni insist ko o mole be ko mu yalon ka fanka ndol nita sonkala and we are not going to quarrel with you, but the best thing I explain ko you should not get there and you insist that you should get it. And we take the information and send it to the office.
Okay, with regards to the performance of the IEC, what is GMC? What do you have to say about that? Because people are telling us that the IEC maybe they are not performing to expectation or raising concerns. How will you rate the performance of the Independent Electoral Commission?
For the first time, when they started, a lot of people were calling me, giving me that complaint. So I was very disappointed because we do not expect that. Project like this, adung alia durational di. Atol nyantaka all things ke kaje ko, you will have standby machines so that ninyo machine do ma work. Albe machine do not la alia dundi. But you don't expect people to leave all their work to go to the registration center. Kafeko, masingo mantarataka, masingo mantarataka. That we were very disappointed about that. And then this attestation, ni attestation o mune yake na yake priority ni registration o kono, definitely is so disappointed. Okay. Because people should get their identity cards. It's not, we are not talking about one identity card. ID card is there, birth certificate is there, and passport is there. So you'll be able to find a citizen nyanta kam one of them soto. But it is seen all ko mol be soto and IEC fananata more correct the mol because this is going to tell Gambians ko yes, I don't need to find all those documents. Attestation is the simplest way. So yet I do your water and you go and get the voter's card.
So are you against that?
Of course, I'm against that 100%.
Why?
Attestation nyanta kake, but anyanta ka ke circumstances the muya lonko ntata fo sembo man soto no nyi kaydi sabol beto kole ya kol soto taje. What yes, isama ko then attestation should come. But attestation man nyana kela first priority. Adu ngajele ko video toko. People are holding those attestations. Wol manke IEC do kulalti. What are they doing with that attestation? Ibe mol konandila to talk to them. So womu IEC la faultless because
you mean individuals are issuing attestation to people?
Yes, I saw it myself.
Aside from alcalos?
I saw it myself. Yamari snap abe filo ni mutaka. Talking to people.
Where exactly does that happen?
I saw it in the forum. I don't exactly know which area, but I saw it in the forum myself.
That IEC officials were issuing attestation to people.
No, those are not even working for IEC.
They are just individuals.
Individuals. So where do they get the attestation? That means ko attestation ni afin tinde bari kung amang kungo fongo soto. Because hanata attestation nat anyanta ka tara mole bulu come like alkalol. Ay tara alkalol to. wal le itol le la kabilo ni la sato ni la dimbayal lo because alkalo for the sato belo nol maybe in the provinces alkalo ka dindingol lo but places like Kombo ni ko weli ngara jak alkalo te jandingol belo nol but every kabilo should have elders muli alon ko they will work with the alkalo kayitanda la ko fo tonya nyin dindingo mu jandingol te ba fo alfala wuluta jande ba fema wuluja fo dindingo nyim fo siyo ya sine ba pharmacy. So obviously ni be feng implement la i nyanta ka implement bar a nyanta ka guide soto le mi yalon ka ba protect la but ni ma protect no abe mo be bulo ko na be tala so that means ko we cannot just because we as political parties too cannot do much on those things natara ko mo kurungol be banko ka mo yalon ko they wanted to use that opportunity of attestation and give this voters card to non-Gambians or children.
Okay, you can, this is a Good Morning Africa program. With me here is Tida Kijera, spokesperson of the Gambia Moral Congress, and you can join us in the conversation by dialing the number 2323-213-23213. It's a join no conversation, or to also tell us what your views are, your opinion, or what you think of the whole issue. With that, we move on to talk about the issues of the TRRC. They already wrap up, their sessions, and they are expected to, give their findings or their report to President Adama Barrow, in less than a month now. So, how do you see the TRRC overall, their performance and everything?
Their performance to me is excellent. They did the best because at least. To have someone who did something and come out and explain it, I did this. So sometimes I used to ask myself, they are ready to tell us everything. So whatever work they did, for those people to come and tell us what has happened, it's possible some might say things which has never happened, or they will say this nice story about the thing and leave the bad. But at least we have get some information, which we were saying that I could not believe it. Those things were happening in this country. So they did extremely good. So
with regards to their recommendations, do you think that it will be implemented by the Barrow-led administration?
No, I don't think.
Why?
Because this is not the first commission.
Okay.
The Army Commission was here, and the way after those people presenting their recommendation to the president, we have seen what the game they have played there. Because ye model bondi ka model ka implement model ka model forgive. So womu fenete mu yalonko, I do not agree with that. If they give you recommendations, implement them. Because all these recommendations are telling us so that next, maybe even the present government, people working there should not use their positions to do evil works to their fellow Gambians. It is very wrong. You don't use your position because at least you have that opportunity to work in that sector. So you use that position to punish or do bad things to your fellow Gambians, which is very bad. I could not believe it. Na last part mo inu kewodo be diamuka ako mo atal monyo dole a binkima aka binkima le ata fama fa. So they went in for that woman ka tocho for fat. So those are private issues. But ayala position na use masakunda mendi atala to kill that woman. So nyente ka make sure ko ni recommendation o ya implement. Ni masakunda ni ma implement ni GMC masakunda na ntol ba make sure nga implement because that is the only way to help us. Banku dole kelol kele worse than us. But now they have settled and they are moving. So until final what we experience, we should just tell these people exactly what they did is wrong and they should dance to the tune. So that people working there right now will never think about it. So nimmo woke, nimmo kurungoy kuruyake, inyanta kaju kuruyalla. Wule ka kenate fongo na kanata jiata repeat la, and in mem fana bala position oto sani afanante miralal. But when we use politics in whatever sense, and we don't take this recommendation seriously, still now it doesn't make sense.
So, all right, on the security situation of this country, what would you say to that? Many people are of the belief that, or making allegations that the security in this country is on the increase. Is that the same belief the UMC holds?
No, this is something we are all seeing it. We are all seeing it and hearing it.
Okay.
So every now and then, people are dying. Either you are killed by someone we know, they present, or unknown person. And those cases will just die like that. Because I cannot take, I cannot even believe if some of those victims are still in prisons. Because in Gambia, when something happens, we will sit, talk about it. For some months, it will just mess like that. And still, we cannot stop that. Someone has killed his mother, someone has killed his father, we found a dead body, we don't even know who killed it. It is happening in this country. And they are stealing people's, anything they have, they don't leave anything now. Because I just get some information from the same agent who is working for us. Because he was busy on this agent's business, they came to his house and stole 27 goats. Take away with them. Yes. So it's very sad. A country now, they don't leave anything. Because ika mol sunyal, ika bana bagasol sunya, ika naflol sunya. So nothing is left. So whether you are in the government or not in the government, this is what we are all seeing together. And this is the hard fact, and I blame the government for it. Yes.
Okay.
Because President Barrow's government is not concentrating in anything helping Gambians. They only concentrate.
That's a big allegation.
It's not an allegation. That is what we are saying. Okay. Because if it is not allegation, they should stop this. At least we were crying for these things for how many months now, for how many years? So at least what I was saying, a government, if your people are crying for something, you should respond. At least you should do something to stop it, so that they will know that you are responsible. But we cannot be crying something for years.
Are you insinuating that the Barrow government, they are irresponsible?
They are irresponsible. That's why our people are dying like this. That's why they are stealing our money. They are just breaking doors, works, shops. Anywhere you go, people are not even safe. They can even meet on you on the way, and they took off your wig on your head, bags, telephones. So if that cannot be stopped, and this was not happening in this country, so that means they are irresponsible.
So overall, finally, how would you rate Barrow's performance?
Very bad.
Everything, like economy, agriculture, tourism.
Abe.
You mean to say everything is bad?
Abe, everything. Tell me what sector is moving. Nothing, absolutely.
But at least many sympathizers of the government will tell you that at least the construction part is going, because he has inaugurated a lot of roads, and then a lot of roads have.
Let them tell us which road, because most of these roads, the most classic ones I'm talking about, are former President Jammeh's projects. This Lamenkoto Pasamas. When I saw the road, I was happy. Very constructed well. Despite anything happen, when it is good, we will say it. When it is bad, we are going to say it. But just go and look at Kerewan Badala to Yorubawol. Ye mano menke ye fonko kenseng, banku munku kenseng, ye mana jiota ya bongaka. Their works are not even good, because imantara ka keka puru ka banku dingol makoy, iba keka nim political la, because we are going towards election, so they want people to vote for them. So wole akene be kol param kekan.
Okay, so
yeta ji sukuta highway, sukuta latrikunda sukuta. Taita manoni jiba abe nyame. They are not good at all. So ibe how you la rek, because election o kanale pour ibe Gambian kol nyam kula nyama, and Gambian should know ko what is good for them right now. In fact, it is our money. They have priorities. Their priority is politics, and their self-development. Because we all see what the president built in his own village, a mansion, within 3 years of his ruling. So that is his priority.
Well, anyway, finally, it seems like time is not on our side, but finally, what will you give as a take takeaway to people who are watching, especially now the security situation in this country, the voter registration process, and like, what will you tell to people?
It's just the same. The country belongs to all of us. On the security sector, I just want to advise all our fellow Gambians. Let's protect ourselves. If the government who should protect us is not doing well, let's protect ourselves. Make sure anywhere, especially my fellow women, don't isolate yourself with people you know or you might know, because it's not safe. We witnessed 2 or 3 women who died. And in fact, it was very difficult for people to know who killed them. So avoid places whereby you can be killed and nobody know who killed you. If you are in a compound, you are alone, try to call your family members to come and stay with you. Your brother's sons, your brother's daughters, let people come and stay with you. It's not safe to stay alone in this country, because you can have an issue with someone and the person will just come and attack you there and kill you. So at the end of the day, your life is gone. Let's try to protect ourselves if we do not have a protector anyway. When you talk about registration, this country belongs to all of us. You might think registering foreigners today will help you, but it might hurt you tomorrow, because you never know. A stranger is always a stranger.
Thank you so much, Madam Kijera, for talking to us on the Good Morning Africa program. That was very good. We thank you for coming along. We also apologize to our viewers for not having access to the line. We have technical issues and all that. We apologize for that. And that was Madam Tida Kijera, the spokesperson of the Gambia Moral Congress, speaking to us about the party progress, their agenda, the voter registration process, and President Adama Barrow's performance. So with that, we thank you so very much for coming along. Till we come your way next time for another edition of the Good Morning Africa program. Bye-bye.